What if I told you the biggest structural threat to giant legacy chip makers is not another massive corporation, but a flexible open source design that just got heavily backed by the absolute king of artificial intelligence hardware itself? We really need to talk about SiFive, a fascinating and quiet company founded back in 2015 by a group of brilliant UC Berkeley engineers. They just landed a massive $400 million oversubscribed funding round that officially values the company at an unbelievable $3.65 billion. This financial deal is incredibly important for so many different reasons, and it could completely reshape the fundamental future of global computing. First of all, SiFive utilizes the highly adaptable RISC-V open chip design, which is fundamentally different from Intel's heavily guarded x86 architecture or the ERM processors that currently dominate the global market and feed Nvidia's massive CPU computer system empire. But here's the real massive kicker. Nvidia itself was actually a major investor in this exact funding round, alongside a massive list of heavy-hitting VC firms, private equity groups, and top-tier hedge funds. The massive round was heavily led by Atreides Management, which was founded by former Fidelity bigwig Gavin Baker, who, by the way, also strategically invested in Cerberus Systems' recent $1 billion mega round. Other major players throwing serious money at SiFive include Apollo Global Management, D1 Capital Partners, Point72, and Sutter Hill Ventures. SiFive operates with a highly scalable business model that is very similar to how ERM used to work back in the old days. They do not actually manufacture or sell the physical silicon chips themselves. Instead, they license their incredibly flexible base chip designs to other tech companies, who then heavily modify them to fit their specific custom computing needs. SiFive is standing in highly rarefied air right now because their core designs are completely open rather than heavily proprietary, and they are totally neutral, meaning they're not overly reliant on any single massive corporate customer. They have not raised capital since March 2022, when they brought in $175 million at a $2.33 billion valuation, with backing from giants like Intel Capital and Qualcomm Ventures. For a very long time, the RISC-V architecture was mostly known just for powering smaller, low-level embedded electronics in basic systems. But with this gigantic new pile of cash and the direct strategic attention of Nvidia, SiFive is aggressively moving into building high-performance CPU components for massive AI data centers. Their open designs are specifically being tailored to work absolutely seamlessly with Nvidia's powerful CUDA software and its NVLink Fusion system, which is basically a massive rack server setup that lets completely different processors plug directly into Nvidia's artificial intelligence factory. So essentially, as giant rivals like Intel and AMD are desperately trying to compete with Nvidia's dominant CPU market share, Nvidia is strategically outsmarting everyone by backing an 11-year-old startup that can design alternative processors on a completely open technology standard. It is a brilliant chess move that could democratize chip design forever.